Rain slammed against the window like the city itself was trying to break inside. Seo Yeon stood frozen in the middle of her apartment. Her phone vibrated violently across the table. Once, twice, 3 times. The name glowing on the screen. Junho. She didn't pick it up. Instead, she stared at the door. Her suitcase sat beside it. Half-packed, clothes folded, books stacked, a toothbrush wrapped carefully in tissue paper. She had done it. For the first time in 2 years. Seo Yeon was actually leaving. The phone vibrated again. Another message. Then another. Then a call. She squeezed her eyes shut. Because she already knew what his voice would sound like. Soft. Careful. Almost broken. The voice that had pulled her back every single time. And the terrifying thing was, it might still work. 6 months earlier, autumn in Seoul. Leaves drifted along the sidewalks of Hongdae like quiet confessions. Seo Yeon stood in a narrow bookstore aisle reading. The world around her didn't exist. Until a hand suddenly reached across her shoulder. She jerked back. A man stood there holding a book halfway out of the shelf. He looked embarrassed. And amused. "Sorry," he said. "Do you always guard the architecture section like this?" She didn't look up from her book. "Do you always reach over strangers without asking?" He smiled. "Only when the stranger is holding the last copy I need." She looked up then, and the moment stretched. Not dramatic, not cinematic, just 2 strangers quietly realizing something strange had happened. His name was Kim Junho, architect, works in Gangnam. Talked with the calm confidence of someone used to being listened to. They ended up in the cafe next door. What was supposed to be 10 minutes turned into 2 hours. Then 3. Junho leaned forward. "What book made you cry last?" Seo Yeon smirked. "I don't cry at books." He tilted his head. "Everyone cries at books." Silence. She stirred her tea. "The Little Prince." Junho smiled gently. "Because he left?" She looked at him. "No, because he chose to." Something shifted between them. Neither one understood it yet. But the story had already begun. For 4 months, everything felt effortless. Seoul became their playground. They walked the Han River until sunrise. Shared ramen at midnight street stalls. Got lost in art galleries. Junho sketched buildings while Seo Yeon read
especially with you.
Sometimes they didn't talk for hours, and it never felt awkward. One night beneath falling cherry blossoms, Junho said quietly, "I feel calm when I'm with you." Seo Yeon laughed softly. "Is that strange?" He looked away toward the river. "For me it is." She should have asked what he meant, but she didn't, because she was busy feeling something she hadn't felt in years. Chosen. Truly chosen. The restaurant reservation was at 7 o'clock. Seo Yeon arrived at 6:55. By 7:30, she was still alone. At 8 a.m. message arrived. Junho. Something came up at work. "I am sorry. Tomorrow." She stared at the screen. The waiter avoided eye contact. She ordered food. Ate alone. Walked home alone. The next day, Junho appeared at her apartment, holding her favorite spicy tteokbokki, looking exhausted. "I'm really sorry." She sighed. "It's fine." And she believed it. Because everyone gets busy,
You came.
right? But then it happened again. And again. Sometimes he disappeared for days. Sometimes weeks. Then suddenly he would return like nothing had happened. Bringing food. Bringing warmth. Bringing the version of himself she loved most. And every time he came back, she stayed. The pattern became invisible, but powerful. Junho would pull away. Seo Yeon would feel the silence spreading. She would ask questions. He would smile and say, "You think too much." Then suddenly he would appear at her door again, late at night, looking vulnerable, looking like the man she met in the bookstore. "I don't want to lose you," he would say. And the worst part? He meant it. He truly meant it. In that moment. But moments don't last forever. Psychologists have a word for this pattern. Intermittent reinforcement. When love arrives randomly, your brain starts chasing it like a reward. But Seo Yeon didn't know the term. She only knew one thing. She loved him. Seo Yeon sat across from her best friend Ji. Ji watched her carefully. "Are you happy?" Seo Yeon didn't answer. Ji leaned forward. That silence is the answer. Seo Yeon stared at the window. "I'm happy when he's present." Ypsilono sight. That's not happiness. Later that night, Seo Yeon returned home. She opened her phone, typed a message to Junho, deleted it, typed again, deleted again. Finally, she wrote, "We need to talk." Before she could send it, her phone buzzed. "Junho, I'm outside your building." Her heart dropped. She walked to the window, and there he was, standing under the streetlight, holding a paper bag of hotdog pastries. When he saw her, he waved, like a boy, like the man she fell for. And somehow, her resolve cracked. She buzzed him in. They sat on the floor, eating pastries. The apartment felt quiet, fragile. Seo Yeon looked at him carefully. Junho, I need you to answer honestly. He nodded. Do you really want this relationship?
I know.
Silence filled the room. A long silence. Finally he spoke. I want it. The words landed like glass. I know that's not the same thing, he said quietly. She nodded. It isn't. Junho rubbed his face. When I'm with you, I feel like I could be the man you deserve. But I don't know how to be him all the time. Seo Yeon felt tears burn her eyes. Not anger, not rage, just sadness. Because for the first time, Junho wasn't hiding. And somehow that honesty made everything worse. Weeks later, Sunday morning, Junho slept on her couch, a book resting on his chest. Seo Yeon stood in the kitchen making coffee. She looked at him. Love, exhaustion, hope, grief, all living inside her at once. She placed the coffee beside him. He stirred, half asleep, reached for her hand. Don't go anywhere, he whispered. She looked at their joined fingers. And in that quiet moment, Seo Yeon realized something terrifying. She had imagined leaving him 100 times, but she had never actually done it. Because he wasn't cruel, he wasn't evil, he was something much more dangerous. Almost enough. And the question that stayed with her that morning was the same question now waiting inside your heart. If someone loves you, but never completely, if they try, but never truly stay, if the love is always almost enough, would you walk away? Or would you stay?